Hello, welcome to Let's Talk Tottenham. It's a Newcastle preview today. I know there's over a week, but I'm at the zoo next week, so I'm swapping a snake in the boardroom for a snake in the reptile house next week, so I won't be able to do a show. And lots to talk about. I'm pretty sure everyone watching this knows exactly what's happened with Newcastle and their takeover. We talk about that. Just a few hellos. I think that's you, Eugene, isn't it?
Yeah.
Hello, Eugene. Wayne Bonner, always on the streams. Hi, Wayne. How you doing?
Yes, Wayne. How you doing, man?
Another pointless international break, so FIFA can further line their pockets and swallow their coffees instead of proper football. I mean, we'll talk about corruption. Hopefully Brian Daigle's joining us in a bit. But until then, two brilliant guests. You'll know them both. Eugene, Spurs Eurasian TV. How you doing, Eugene?
Doing well. International break. Just preparing for my Sunday show, trying to get all the information ready for the finance talk. That's all, right? And then, of course, I had, yesterday there was a show on Johnny's channel, Self-Strike Spurs. Rez was talking, and maybe we'll get a better understanding of the THST from him, right? And let's see how we go from there. Yeah.
We're talking about that a bit later. Spurs Eurasian TV is your channel. Tell us about that. Where can people find that? It'll all be linked in the description anyway. For people who don't know, where can they find that?
Oh, you can find me on YouTube, right? We do shows on Wednesdays and Sundays. On Wednesdays, we usually do the 2:30 p.m. GMT slot. We call it the midweek show. And on Sundays, I'll do my usual, right? The show that goes on forever.
On Eugene on Sunday, Eugene wakes up, does a stream, finishes a stream, goes to bed.
Yeah, and that's usually about 1 p.m. GMT, but depending on sometimes, if family appointments come up, you have to delay it a bit. The last time I chased the Arsenal NLD, so it didn't work out. So let's see what happens on the 17th. All right, but of course, this Sunday is still back at 1 p.m. GMT. Let me do some timing adjustments on there. All right.
Excellent. And also joined by Tommy. Tommy Talks Ball, TTB. How you doing, Tommy?
I'm good, man. I'm good after last night. It was a cracker. It was a cracker last night. I angered some guests that may be coming on. So I can't.
There's only one. But...
I can't wait. I can't wait for that. But thanks for having me on, Chris. It's a pleasure being on here as always. I'm not going to be streaming for a while. So I'll be watching your streams and Eugene's streams. I always do. Excellent. So make sure you subscribe to Chris. It's free, and smash that like, hit the thumbs up, and pleasure being on as always, man.
No problem. Yeah. Tommy Talks Ball, your channel. Where can people find that? And for people who don't know about it, watch last night's one, the quiz. Fantastic, cheered me up no end. Where can people find that?
Seeing one person's demise, Seeing one person's demise. He is Brian is the quiz master, but no longer. So Tommy Talks Ball, another YouTube channel. I have Eugene on a lot, I have Chris on a lot. As you said, last night I had a quiz, so make sure you check that out. And I won't be streaming for a little while. So Tommy Talks Ball, YouTube. If you haven't already subscribed, get over there, subscribe. And and you got a quiz coming Monday as well, Chris. Can't wait for that.
Different to yours, 50 questions. So I've been busy, but
I thought 15 was a lot. I struggled with 15. 50, jeez.
Yeah, so quiz on Monday on here, Monday 8 p.m. So join in if you can. Back to today, and your stream cheered me up, Tommy. I woke up this morning in a foul mood because of the Newcastle takeover. I think it's extremely bad for football, and people say you're just bitter because it's not Tottenham. Nothing to do with that. But Brian on your stream said that what is true, Levy has taken the football away from Spurs fans. But in terms of football's been taken away from fans for years because of money. And what I'm particularly angry about here is that this consortium headed by Amanda, what's her name?
MDS.
It is funded by the Saudi state, which, as we know, the Saudi state has all sorts of human rights issues. They murder journalists, they essentially execute homosexuals, they imprison women just for being women. But yet the Premier League have allowed them to take over Newcastle with 10 times more money than Man City. Let that sink in for 2 seconds. 10 times more money than Man City. and yet they'll regularly, the Premier League, join with companies to end discrimination in sport, which includes homosexuality with the LGBTQ community, and allowing women in sport. And so they'll wear these armbands and they join with these companies, but yet they're allowing a company or a state who regularly do not abide by any of these and take ridiculously extreme and unacceptable measures to be part of their corporation, the Premier League. And, it's all become money. Controversial comment. I would much rather Levy be in charge of Tottenham than someone who goes killing people, imprisoning people, executing people. Levy's no saint, not by any stretch of the imagination. That'll probably get me a lot of grief, but hopefully more views as one already. So, don't dislike, just like and subscribe, obviously.
Yeah. But Chris, hold on. Allegedly, the murder is allegedly. Don't forget.
Allegedly, but it's all become money. The ESL was all about money. You even have to look at the Qatar World Cup. If there wasn't any people moaning about the Qatar World Cup, it would be in the summer with fans dying and collapsing through heat exhaustion just because FIFA get their money. And it's just become about money, and Levy's just one of the others in it. He cares about money. He only cares about money like the rest of football. We'll talk about him refusing to talk to the Supporters Trust in a second, because that is bad and unacceptable. Amanda Staveley is saying all the right things at the moment. I want to meet the fans. It's all about the fans. Give it a year. Probably not. Gareth on your stream yesterday, Tommy, said in 5 or 10 years, 5 years, I think he said, that the fans are happy at the moment. In 5 years, they'll think, the club's been taken away. I think he's absolutely bang on there. And But Eugene, you've got to like it. Let me just get through a few things.
But then you get the glory hunting fans, and they don't care. And the glory hunting fans will take over the original fans. They're like the fans from Main Road. The Man City fans from Main Road, they're sort of moved to the side, and it's all going to be glory hunting fans, and they don't care, because the only reason they support the club is because they're doing well. So they don't care if they end up spending more money. Unfortunately, that's how it's going to be. That's how it's going to be from here on in. Because you're not going to win the title organically, are you? You're not going to win the title organically. Even with smart spending, you're not going to win it with smart spends. Leicester have got a great blueprint. Brentford have got a great blueprint, but they're not going to win the league titles anymore.
Liverpool are the only team who probably
Tommy, the title hasn't been won organically for so long. Think about it.
Yeah. Well, Liverpool maybe.
But Liverpool won.
Still £80 million on Van Dijk. £80 million.
But that money came from a sale of a player, not because their owner has 500 billion saved away in his trust fund.
That's true.
Hi Adam. Newcastle are about to go on an absolute madness. They're virtual signalling hypocrites. They don't believe in diversity. I think that must be the Premier League. You can label that FIFA or whoever. We'll talk about this later. Levy refusing to talk to the trust has made me hate him even more. And Tommy, you're a bit in trouble. Brian says he's still the quiz master when it's purely on capital letters. Tottenham Hotspur, top mugshots of managers with tashes and riddles. Obviously, you had to see that to understand that. But go watch Tommy's stream.
It was 2/3. It was 2/3 Tottenham, over 2/3 Tottenham. Yeah. So,
but I can tell you for a fact, my quiz on Monday won't include questions on how much does James Bond drink. I didn't understand that one, but
okay.
How many measures of gin in a martini, in a Vespa martini? James Bond came out last week. Come on now, it's appropriate.
If you said how many measures in a Vespa martini in a Tottenham Hotspur bar, that fits. But getting back to Newcastle, thanks everyone for watching and joining in the chat. Like I said, hit the like, hit the subscribe, hit that notification bell. You won't have to go on Twitter to see when it's coming on. You'll get a notification. But Eugene, your thoughts on the Newcastle takeover?
Honestly, actually, I was talking to Brian about this yesterday before he went on any shows. Right, I said I've been saying I'm happy for the Newcastle fans because they have gotten rid of an owner that didn't bring them anywhere. Right, but at least that owner was honest with them, okay, and never bullshitted them any time of the day and all that. When he said he had no money to buy any players, he didn't buy any players, right? And then he says that we are not going for the Premier League, or we're not even going for the Champions League. We're just trying to survive. So, in a sense that what Mike Ashley did was actually prep up Newcastle for such a big takeover. And the next 2 or 3 years, right, the new owners who come in with the money, they actually could spend the money without actually breaking any FFP rules. So that's one part that the Newcastle fans should be happy about. The sad part about it is another billionaire that, it's not even another billionaire. If you want to talk about it, I think the Saudis are worth trillions now, not even billions, right? Yeah. But of course, this part of their what they call it, investment fund kind of thing that they have, part of their family that puts money out to invest to try to make money or to try get glory, or to try to divert attentions from whatever bad things they have done. But every country has done a lot of bad things, right? So we don't go down and try to count every country what they've done. If you dig back into history, right, every country has got some kind of shit under there. So we're past 10 minutes, okay.
It's a bit late now, isn't it? You've said it.
Yeah, it's past 10 minutes. No, every country's got, to tell the truth, right? Every country, if you open a can of worms, the worms are in there. You can't hide it. Nobody's squeaky clean, all right? We know that. Corruption at the highest level played into this. They only put out that if you pay off the copyright issue thing, they paid about £1 billion to settle with beIN Sports, right, for stealing Premier League things and all that. But so they swept aside the human rights issues. So, but like football, as FIFA has always said, that we're not political, but we're about the money. So that's where we are now. But let's see what happens, right? We are playing them, so most probably we'll be getting into that quite soon. Brucey is shaking in his. Brucey knows he's out. Brucey knows he's out, right? But to us, we are playing them in what, 10 days time or 2 weeks time or so?
Yeah, it's a week on Sunday, isn't it?
Yeah, so more or less about 10 days time or so. So let's see what kind of Newcastle team turns up. That's all I say. Yeah.
I mean, Tommy, what do you think? I mean, Alan Shearer's come out and said it's a great day for Newcastle fans. Like Eugene says, they've been starved of success, similar to us in many ways. But and regardless of where Newcastle finish, they are a huge club, and they could be in the Conference League and they'd sell out that stadium every week. But obviously, I can't think of what I was going to say. Oh, well, I'm so angry, and But they're fans who it's interesting, isn't it, that you kind of sell your soul. That they just want money. The criticism that Levy has, if Levy refused to meet the supporters' trust and everything else he does, but he spent 200 million pounds on players each season, and we were challenging for leagues, people wouldn't hate him anywhere near as much. And I'm sure that Alan Shearer has at some point said that Man City's owners are the human rights issues and blah, blah, blah. And then he comes out and says it's a great day. But it's easy to see how you're sold.
Alan Shearer is an idiot. Alan Shearer is just an idiot.
Everyone. Before you start, Tommy, is there an apology you want to give, or Brian, is there anything you want to say?
I just want to say hello.
All I want to say is there will be a round two. There will be a round two. Big fat Spurs quiz.
I want to say something. Brian, nice room you're in.
What is
I'm at my sister's house.
Is that a nursery?
I know, that's right. Nursery.
Room, mate. Look, these are the kind of chairs I'm sitting on.
That's loyalty, man. That's loyalty right there.
My niece has come down for a nap. The boys are still at school. So as I was saying, I just want to say hello to Chris, hello to Eugene, and hello to some guy that puts random.
As I said, round two is happening, and it's not going to get any easier, and it's not going to get any less crazy. So
basically, if you ever get invited to one of Tommy's quizzes, just don't do any Tottenham Hotspur research.
2/3, 11 of the 15 questions were Spurs related, and one was on Ranieri. New Watford manager. I think that's fair. Look, the riddle was out there. I'll give you that. The riddle was out there, but
and he picked no. The one was Jack Santini. He picked a mugshot from when Jack Santini.
Process of elimination. You should figure that one out. That shot is from the 60s or 70s, right? So a manager has to be 40. It's not Glenn Hoddle. It's not Christian Gross. So you're looking at 2000, 2001. It's Jack Santini. Process of elimination.
But yes, you gave us like less than 30 seconds to get the question.
Actually, I'll give you.
And when you started talking about Jack Santini and look at his bone structure and everything, funnily enough, Jack Santini weren't there long enough for me to identify him.
But he was a French manager. He was the French manager too. But anyway,
having said that though, Brian, it was superbly entertaining. But my personal favourite part was the question about which club did we not play on our road to the Champions League final. Everyone's quiet, thinking of the answer, and then you just suddenly hear you go, "What the fuck are you doing to me?" I thought that was.
I'm working your brain, man. I'm working your brain. It's all about. It's good for you.
I was trying to work out because I knew we played Monaco in the Champions League one year, but I was trying to work out it was the year that we didn't do well at all. I was like,
it was the year before in the group stages. It was the year before in the group stages.
But then it clocked. So yeah, but it's always good to be on your show, Chris. Sorry for being late, but my niece comes first.
No problem. But yeah, Tommy, the Newcastle takeover. What are your thoughts?
Well, it's such a difficult one because we can say we're frustrated. We're frustrated and we're sad.
Back to preschool.
We can say we're frustrated and we're sad and we're hurt by it. But the reality is we're also sad because it directly affects us. Because we're going to finish one league place lower. Not within the next year, maybe, because it will be slow progress. It will be slow progress, like we saw with Man City. They'll be getting the Bellamy's in first. And Mark Hughes will be their man, someone like that. Because they're not going to get Conte when they haven't got money yet. They will. There'll be progression, no doubt. And Man City done it perfectly. So just 10 times, to have 10 times the amount of money that Man City do, it's mind-blowing. It's absolutely mind-blowing. I thought Mike Ashley would have got more. I think he got £305 million. But then on the other hand of that, that's 150% profit. I think he bought it for like £120 million. So that's something like that. It's huge. It's huge profit margins. I think it is a sad day, especially with their history, with the backlog. The Saudi Arabian. I'm not an expert on that side of things. But as I said, unfortunately, you're not going to win it organically now. You're going to have a foreign investor to come in if you want to compete for Premier League titles, or you're going to have the likes of Levy open a checkbook a little. No, it needs to be a lot now, and he doesn't even open the checkbook up a little. So we're in trouble. The way it's going, we're in trouble. But what are your principles? What are your morals at the end of the day? You'd have to sell your soul. You are selling your soul to a certain extent. But do you want to finish in 8th and 9th every season? Because that's what it's going to be. That's what it's going to be for us. But I tell you one thing: the Newcastle fans deserve this. If there's one group of fans that deserve to have money pumped into their club, it's Newcastle. Their fans are incredible. Brian said it. He's been to St James's Park. Unfortunately, I haven't had the privilege to be there. But I would love to go there. There's always an away day I want, but it's the furthest away day, isn't it? It's like it's close to Scotland, pretty much. So it's one place I've always wanted to go. But as you said, Chris, they sell out. They sell their tickets, 55,000, whatever the capacity is at St James's Park, week in, week out, regardless of how they're doing. And so that fan base deserve it, and they are a passionate bunch. When you see them in a pub and out on the streets, they give it the large. They give it the large, and they can actually give it the large now because they're going to be in the hunt for the Champions League sooner rather than later.
Yeah, I mean, the first title that they win, it won't be the Champions League, the first title. It could be. But the first big title they win will mean a lot. But like you said it on your channel yesterday, Tommy, with Man City, titles don't mean anything to them now because they haven't earned anything. They just buy everything, possibly Chelsea as well, but certainly Newcastle in maybe 10 years. So whether their fans they'll be happy now, and when they win their first title, they'll be delirious. But then that will dissipate, and then you'll potentially get what Man City have now, which is a big stadium, no one filling it out. But got a comment here, United fan, my friend of mine, Ben. How you doing, Ben? There are loads of bad owners out there for different reasons. This lot are just a different level. I'm assuming he's talking about the human rights issues there. Don't blame the fans wanting rid of Ashley, but Premier League have questions to answer. And Brian, the Premier League, we've mentioned it already, will carry on working with these companies to end discrimination in football, with homosexuality, women in sport, everything like that, the racism, obviously. And these owners that they've allowed in have human rights issues where they execute homosexuals, they imprison women, and the hypocrisy of it is just unbelievable. And I said before, I'd rather have Levy in charge than someone who goes around killing people and executing people and imprisoning people. But I mean, what are your thoughts on the Newcastle takeover?
So, I mean, first of all, when it comes to the Premier League, I mean, Tommy will know where I'm going with this. There's a WWE entrance music for someone called Shane McMahon. And it's
no chance. Oh no, money.
That's all the Premier League. That's all the Premier League think of. I want to touch on a bit about what Tommy said as well about the Newcastle fans now. Like Tommy said, it's my favourite away day. I love that city. My wife never wants to live in London again. Loves visiting, but just couldn't get London. And I ever said to her, if we come back, I would love to live in Newcastle just because I love that city. And then when you look at the fans, those fans, you've got to remember they are a one city team, like Middlesbrough, like Sunderland, like Leeds. But this Newcastle is like no other place I've seen. They literally, I mean, we all die for football and it's a religion, but up there, not only is it a religion, it's what that city thrives on. If Newcastle are doing well, the whole city is happy. If it's been what it's been recently, it's a horrible place to be. And when you go to St James's Park, the whole way, or Newcastle, it's like St James's Park is at the top of the hill and the whole city is built around it. It's like a mecca. It really is. And it's such an incredible stadium. And those fans, like Tommy said, no matter where they are, they will pack out St James's Park. They will pack out away games. They are so loud. They are so passionate. And if it was going to happen to a team, I'm happy. I'm happy to them just for their fans because they have deserved it. I mean, then when you get to see that Mike Ashley's got a bigger net spend than Daniel Levy during his time, then you just start thinking, "Oh my good God!" I mean, what more? Listen, I don't stand for anything those owners stand for. And that's not because I'm Jewish. Like I've said before, I have a lot of Muslim friends. I lived in Israel and have loads exactly, and it's nothing to do with that. Obviously, it's what you said. Their views on homosexuality, women's rights, the illegal pirating of BN Sports and everything. They stand for everything that's wrong, but unfortunately, they stand for everything that's going on in football right now, where it's literally. I remember when we were all growing up, where if in the 80s, let's say Liverpool, if Liverpool were in for you, and let's just say Tottenham, no matter it didn't matter that if we offered them twice as much money, the player went to Liverpool because they'd win titles. That's what they did. It didn't matter what. If Liverpool came in, you went. This is when they only had two substitutes, not these vast squads. But that's gone now. It's who can offer the most money. Conte will be there, I think, before the end. I know what Tommy's saying.
Yeah, I think so as well.
But what you got to remember, when Man City did it with Mark Hughes and then got in Mancini, they brought in Robinho as like this is what we mean business. But also, back in those days, there wasn't a person of Conte's level of management just sitting on the fence. Whereas right now, they might be able to say, do you know what? We can't spend money this season because of obviously we've just taken over. But next season, fill your goddamn boots, just keep us out of relegation, which he will immediately. But also, we know if it does come in and they start spending big, it'll be another Man City job with even a bigger brown envelope saying, here you go. January, they will make at least one marquee signing, like a Robinho. Like there will be a world-class superstar checking in Newcastle. I mean, I've been laughing at the gifts come up. The best one I've seen so far of the memes is the Geordie sign. Instead of away the lads, it says halal the lads, which is just for me. It's just the other one is they've opened up their own Newcastle United channel. It's called Al Jazeera, which is just these are going to keep coming. Going back to it, football is not about what we know it anymore. It's not about winning trophies. It's not about the glory. It's about the money. We are now, like I said, I hate playing Monopoly with my football team. I don't support this, but it's the way it is. It's the way it is. And unfortunately, Newcastle, the good thing is, or I say unfortunately, the good thing is I grew up my main football where I was obsessed with football, started going to games regularly, was the 90s. And that Kevin Keegan team, there was everyone's second favourite team just because of the style, the players. And I'm lucky enough I'm going to see one of them tonight in David Ginola. So looking forward to that with a load of us going. But unfortunately, right now, Newcastle are a serious problem. Not just for us, which is the main concern.
For everybody.
For world football.
Yeah, exactly. So I'm happy if it had to happen to a team like Tommy, that it has happened to Newcastle. But now let's get over the little romance and Newcastle and their fans, and they've got Ashley out, whatever. We need to look at their fans and what they protested non-stop. And yes, it took a while, but again, it shows it works.
A long while, yeah. A long while.
It shows it works. So we've just got to keep plugging away. But it is what it is, and wouldn't it just be typical? Like I said, St James's Park is one of the. It is, apart from being at the Cop at Anfield and hearing "You'll Never Walk Alone," St James's Park is my favourite stadium to go to. Not only my favourite away day, my favourite away ground, and that ground when it's rocking, in both a good way and negative way, is something to be seen. Now, obviously, recently, if we'd gone 1-0 up or 20 minutes had gone and it was still a bad game, they would have been right on those players. But just so happens that their first league game at St James's Park, when it's the team, just happens to be us. And I will tell you now, Newcastle will be rocking 10 times more than when they signed Shearer. That's how bad it all.
But we'll talk about it later. But I'd love, if I had any kind of footballing ability at all, I'd love to have played in that game because you got a chance to fuck up their big day. I'd love that. The manager wouldn't need to give me any motivation. When he's doing the motivational tour, I could be reading a newspaper. It wouldn't bother me because I'd have all the motivation I need. It's bugging up there. It's similar to Palace when they came to our stadium for the first time. You've got all the motivation you need there. You mentioned their fans. Adam says their fans are second best in the league behind Spurs. He's also says he's grown up with this sheer level of greed in football, which is a sad state of affairs, but it's true. And Ben, I'm not sure your priorities are straight. You hope the first thing Newcastle owners do is buy an escalator to replace the stairs. Priorities.
The way end is a goddamn nightmare.
The stairs are tactical. If you walk up, down, you become hungry and thirsty. You buy more things.
And you can't cheer because you're shattered. But I mean, Eugene, from one owner to another, Levy has outdone himself again. The Tottenham Hotspur Supporters Trust, he's refused to meet them for a meeting on the medium to long-term plans of the squad, which obviously says we don't have any. But I think there's nothing that Levy could have said in that meeting which would have appeased the fans. So he might as well have just had the meeting and said, we haven't got a plan. Because it wouldn't have made a blind bit of difference. And at least then you're kind of engaging with the fans, albeit very, very slightly. But I mean, football's become, Brian said on Tommy's stream yesterday that Levy has taken the football away from Spurs fans. But with this whole Newcastle, everything else has happened, the Qatar World Cup, Chelsea, City, PSG, football has been taken away from the fans, really. And Levy is just another one of those who's just all he cares about is money. So my worry is if we got rid of him, we'd end up getting a billionaire owner again. We'd be able to spend money, which is great. But then, like Tommy says, the trophies don't mean anything. But at this moment in time, Levy is in charge. He's refusing to meet the supporters trust. I mean, it's not going to take a rocket scientist to work out.
Let me explain this. Let me explain this to you, Chris. I watched the show yesterday live. Remember, Brian? I was in the chats when Rez was talking about the supporters trust and all that. Like I said, we need to understand the supporters trust. They were created, right, not as what I call a medium to speak to the owners, because number one, you must remember, Tottenham Hotspur PLC, private limited company, right? It's a privately owned company. The trust has got no say at all. So if Levy doesn't want to speak to you, it's his right. Levy doesn't want to look at you, that's his right. But somehow or another, what Rez said yesterday, right? The THST shouldn't have been named TAST because the trust word behind has misled a lot of other people, other fans, to think that certain part of their job is to do certain things like to mediate, to find out what's happening in the club and all that. But the THST doesn't have a right at all to find out anything, to even ask unless you are a shareholder, then you have the right to question Levy. But the trust can say whatever they want, and Levy will do whatever they want. Levy will do whatever he wants because he knows that the trust can't do anything to him. You see, that's the thing. That's why I said on Sunday, I hope I can get Rez on, and then we'll have a talk about the trust and understand what is really happening in the trust, and maybe we'll find a way, right, to have a few steps forward. And like what Rez has been saying, right, we should bring the trust, right, or maybe rename it later, in together to be an alliance. All right, we shouldn't be fighting against each other. So maybe in the day, if we get more understanding, the structure of how the trust works and all that, then maybe we can find a way to go after Levy. But at the moment now, the trust is nothing to Levy. That's why Levy won't even look at them, right? The trust can say all kinds of things to Levy, right? Levy doesn't have, like I said, doesn't have to do anything. That's all. Because the trust doesn't have any shares unless the trust holders have shares in PLC Tottenham. Then maybe you can have a say. Then maybe you can demand something from him. But if you don't have a single share in Tottenham Hotspur, and then to tell the truth, it's a private limited company. That's why they took it off the market. Very smart move. Because if it was a public limited company, it was a shares being floated, right? They could have been bought over a long time ago in the public. But that's what I call Levy's prerogative. That he doesn't have to talk to you. Honestly, he doesn't have to. He has never, to tell the truth, Levy has always portrayed this persona that he's a private person. He doesn't communicate. He doesn't do this. He doesn't do that, right? But when every time the transfer window comes, we get all these rumors here, rumors there, all these things coming out. Who do you think is coming out from? The club. So I guess he plays two sides of the knife. He plays two sides of the game, right? So he wants to tell you what he wants to tell you, and he won't let you know whatever he doesn't want to let you know. That's his right. So like I said, the trust pity them. They can shout and scream all they want. It won't do anything. It won't do anything here unless we band together and form something else to go after him. That's all.
Yeah, I mean, just a quick comment. We've got an Arsenal fan on, Stephen Feely.
Oh, yeah.
Hope you're well. After the North London derby, I'll say one thing. It's only been 6 games. Give Nuno time. Trust the process. Smiley face. What are you doing, Stephen, man? We've got Levy in charge. We've got Newcastle now. They're taking over and he's taking the mick. But I went on his channel after the London derby. He said respect for coming on despite losing. But he only laughed at me for 2 minutes, so it wasn't too bad. But all joking aside, Stephen, he's been quite...
How's he doing? Yeah. Hope he's well.
Yeah, hope you're well, Stephen, and get well soon.
Yeah.
And cheers for watching. Hit that like. You know, you beat us in the North London derby. Least you can do is give me a like and a subscribe.
And a subscribe.
Yeah. I mean, and all 3 of these guys as well. You beat all 3 of us in the North London derby, so give their channels a like and a subscribe as well. But Tommy, what Eugene says there is true, but it's. I can't remember the exact terminology, but Levy mentioned about the supporters' trust, and there's someone on the board to talk to, and then he just goes out and ignores them. It's a respect thing, right? I mean, Brian put on his Twitter, Bill Nicholson saying it's all about the fans. You lose them, you lose the club. But as we mentioned, the club's been lost anyway, along with football. But it's a respect thing, right? You see Amanda Staveley at Newcastle. Yeah, she's saying the right things at the moment, but it's all about the fans, So she's including the fans. But I mean, what do you think? What do you make of Levy ignoring the supporters' trust thing? Do you agree with Eugene, or do you think he should have done it just because they're there and it's a way of engaging the fans when he's hated? Or do you think, well, they hate me anyway, what's the point? I'll just stay at home?
I'm sure he feels like he doesn't have to engage the fans. He done the worst thing. He agreed to the worst thing possible, is to destroy what is the greatest thing in football, and that's the English football pyramid, by going through the ESL. He's probably the front runner. He's probably the top guy. This happened. It got bashed down. It got knocked down. And our protests, I feel like the initial protest against just before the game at Wolves, that initial protest was key and a definer. Because after that day after, he I think he nailed down the day after that Kane is ours, we do what we want with him, this, that, and the other. Had the protest been successful, I don't think he would have come out like that. I don't think he would have come out like this. And if the protests were successful, he wouldn't be moving the supporters' trust aside as easily as he is right now. But as Eugene says, he doesn't have to do anything. He's got such an ego that is beyond. You can't even process his ego, and a lot of it's come from the newspapers. A lot of it's come through the deals he done in the past, which were good. He done some good deals in the past, and that's the thing that we can see as fans. We see the transfer fees. So we see Lloris was a good deal, Wanyama. We see that. We can't see anything else behind the scenes, but we can see that. And then the media inflate his ego. Now he thinks he's untouchable. Now the guy thinks he's untouchable. The papers say he's untouchable. So his ego is in a completely different realm. So he feels like he doesn't have to talk to anyone. So I see Rez on, I think it was
Johnny's show.
Colin's first quiz, Buck Funkley's first quiz show. He was on there with Ricky Villa. They're quite close, aren't they? Ricky Villa, I think they're going Johnny's. So is he part of the supporters trust then, or is he just very well read up? Would you say?
No, he's a member. He's paid his £24 a month subscription or whatever it is.
Yeah.
Okay, so that'd be fun. It'd be important to have his view. It would definitely be important to have his view. But Levy's ego is just off the scale now. So he'll do what he likes, quite frankly.
Yeah. What do you think, Brian? I mean, he's not going to take a rocket scientist to guess what your opinion of it all. But
could I be thinking? What could I be? Listen, with the supporters trust, I get what Rez and everything was saying, but Daniel Levy has said his doors were open to dialogue. He's shown it's a lie. How this latest knockback in a catalogue of knockbacks hasn't woken up fans to say this guy's an absolute moron. What the hell am I doing but trying to back him? Yet they're still trying to. This also happens on the same day that Newcastle announced they're becoming the richest club in the world. I mean, this guy just can't. Do you know what? He just can't do anything right. His PR is a nightmare. His actions are disgusting and despicable. And it's no longer tolerable. I mean, I don't know. This whole thing now is ridiculous. And one of the things I found out as well, now I'm fuming with this, for the NFL, apparently the whole club shop has been stripped of anything Tottenham.
No.
Yep. Really? When I went there, it had a section for Spurs, section for NFL.
Yep. So, no, for the NFL, during this week for the NFL, apparently, I can't confirm, it's been stripped of absolutely everything Tottenham and just filled with NFL, whether they've got stuff in from the teams that are playing or they do have their NFL section. But I'm thinking, wait a minute, there may be people from America that have come over to see this that may want some Spurs memorabilia.
There's a huge Spurs presence in America, isn't there?
Exactly, and in North America, I can confirm that.
We're well aware of that, aren't we? The streamers, half the streamers are from North America.
So the fact that this has happened is just nonsense. Apparently, the whole Tottenham High Road has got like Christmas decorations, like the NFL badges and icons, and it's like, well, wait a minute. As I was saying last week, that tweet at the Joshua fight, where someone actually said, you know what, if you look inside this stadium and you didn't know you were in Tottenham, how would you know what stadium you're in? Because there's no branding, there's no.
They at least leave the cockerel up on the top.
Yeah, that's it. The cockerel.
Could you imagine if that had been changed to like a big football or
chicken?
Change it. Mate, but I mean, I'll be there on Sunday, so we'll see if they've done that with the NFL and they've just gutted the whole shop out of it. Which again just goes to show, if he has done this, he don't care about Spurs. He doesn't care. He's stripping it, not thinking that fans might want that stuff. There may be Spurs fans that are going to that game that may be wanting to pick some stuff up. That may be travelling from Portsmouth, Newcastle, Liverpool, Leicester, Leeds, and can't go there. But no, the NFL are in town. So I'm just thinking, is it like the retractable pitch where the shop just goes underground and then a new one just comes on top? We've got a retractable
It just shows, like we were talking about earlier, doesn't it? That stadium, an amazing stadium, wasn't built for the team at all. It's built to make money. It's built as an arena to hold. I'm going to Guns N' Roses next year. It's built for that. It's built for Joshua's. There was rugby talk, NFL, obviously the retractable pitch. So. I mean, I wouldn't have a problem.
What we've got to wait for is in January when the transfer window opens up and we get all this money to reinvest in the squad. That's what I'm looking forward to, because we are really going to spend this Christmas.
Because I originally thought that's all been done to generate this extra money from these extra things, and that would be put into the club, but it's not, is it? It's been put into Levy's pockets, you'd imagine, and then they'll say, "Oh, we can't afford anything." And I mean, Adam sums it up perfectly. Stripping the club shop of anything related sums up Levy perfectly.
The next comment's even better. Yeah.
Stephen's come back. Big. I'm okay. Home, very sore. Sub to all you guys. Cheers, Stephen. Really appreciate it. And well said, Tommy. Could be worse, mate. Could be Edu, who doesn't give us a target for the season, or could be the Cronkies, the W 3 stars ERS. I don't know why he started out winners there. Yeah.
I'm not joking. I'll take Cronky over Levy. I'll take Cronky over Levy right here, right now.
And like Stephen says here, if that's the case, how the whole fan base aren't at the shop rioting or protesting, I don't know. But yeah, I mean, it's just Levy, isn't it?
Saying about retractable, you say about a retractable stadium, it's going to be like a retractable food outlet as well, isn't it? They're going to stop with a Heineken and fish and chips. It's going to be Sloppy Joes, Twinkies. Because it causes their beer, innit? Coors Light. Everything's just going to be retractable for Sunday, innit? It's crazy.
But like we say, it's all about money. Why not keep all the Spurs memorabilia there? Because then you generate
That's what
more
I'm
money
surprised
from
with.
NFL
I'm surprised.
and Spurs fans buying.
They've got to keep some there, surely.
Rather than just segregating all the Spurs fans out and just NFL. But it just goes to show that...
You know why?
Very dumb.
No. You know why? Because Tottenham Hotspur is going to be the first outside of America, right, to have a football team, American football team. You watch and see. That's what he's aiming at. That's what he's trying to build. You see, that's what he's trying to build. So, of course, right, our club will be like put aside for those days, and then Spurs will come back when we're playing football. When American football has been played, then you'll go to another team.
So basically, what I'm trying to understand is basically we're trying to sell the NFL stuff to the just simply to our own fans, right?
Well, we got to remember is that there's loads of people, and I won't just say from England, but from Europe, possibly America and Canada, coming over for the experience, and all over the globe to come and watch the NFL. Because believe me, this is one huge goddamn franchise.
Well, you think if they're coming from America, they already have the memorabilia.
Exactly, but this schmuck doesn't work this shit out. Thinking that listen, they're coming. I can't remember the exact game. I know the Jets are there, which are my wife's team. I think Jackson.
Falcons are playing the Jaguars. Okay. The first match.
Okay,
first game.
It's got to be the Jaguars. It's always the Jaguars, isn't it? Jacksonville Jaguars, like the worst.
Yeah. So you think they've got that little NFL corner already in the shop 24/7. So you think, well, why don't you just strip away the teams that aren't playing and just put the memorabilia of the two teams that are playing each weekend and keep the Spurs memorabilia? Because funny enough, there'll be people from around the world that will want to pick up Spurs stuff. And
it improves the brand. It improves the Spurs brand because it is still fundamentally a Spurs stadium. So I don't get it. I don't get it at all.
Yeah.
But that's right, because people say, oh no, you know what, Daniel Levy, he's trying to boost up American sales, and we need to get this. And it's nonsense. It's absolute nonsense. People can't.
He's a fucking moron. He's a fucking moron because he's missing out on business. Sorry, Chris. Go on.
I was just going to say that's if it's true. Obviously, Brian, you said you saw it on Twitter, so it's not confirmed.
No, I've seen it.
It wouldn't surprise
you. Quite a few of my WhatsApp groups that have said that.
But he's a fucking idiot, Levy. He's an absolute moron because we've seen bad business decisions lately as well in the transfer fees that he hasn't stumped up with. Because the Grealishes, we could have signed him for £5 million, 25, whether he was good or not. We could have sold him for 100, £75 million profit. Instead, we spent £60 million on Dele to replace Ericsson, £40 million on Lo Celso. He's making bad business decisions as well. So the great businessman is not such a great businessman now. I think he's losing the plot slightly. Yeah. He's definitely losing the plot slightly.
My question is, where's our stadium naming rights?
It will
come,
though. Stadium in the world hasn't been named.
Juventus waited 10 years before it was the Allianz, didn't they? It will come.
Yeah, but this was all wrapped up, and we've had it so many times, and it's so close, just like the managers and the players. And then when it comes to, I've already said that if I get these naming rights, the money goes back to the. Wait a minute, no, I mean it goes back to the club. I can't do that. Listen, I've seen, and people have been saying today. Obviously, Twitter has gone mad today with Spurs fans actually going mad at Levy in the wake of what's happened to Newcastle. So do you know what? I keep saying my final nail in the coffin, I'll straw the boat comes back with Martin Yole. So you don't know how many nails I've been hitting since then. And do you know what? With everything that passes, the turning down to speak to the fans or the supporters trust just goes to show you absolutely no
Respect.
No, it's just arrogance.
There's no,
Arrogance.
exactly.
Arrogance. The
And then
arrogance,
obviously Newcastle come and invest, and it's just like, okay, the doors are. You've got to believe the doors are closing in. Like literally, he's drowning, and it's the life jacket is getting further and further away from him. We can only hope.
Yeah,
That's
I mean,
what yeah.
Stephen, an Arsenal fan, it's quite strange. It's the same with the Emirates, built to compete with Bayern Munich financially, not on the pitch, built for money. And it's amazing how big the rivalry is between us, Spurs and Arsenal, how much we hate each other, but we can relate to each other's situation so much. I mean, absolutely true, absolutely spot on. I mean, you mentioned, Tommy, Ndombele. I don't mind him buying Ndombele because he was wanted by most of Europe. It obviously just hasn't worked. So then you get rid when you know it hasn't worked, but he won't because he needs the feedback. But I'll start with you, Eugene. Dele Alli had his chance at number 10. Runs about a lot. I do that, and I have to pay £5 to play football, so that's not good enough. Ndombele had a couple of games. I thought Lo Celso would start against Aston Villa because I know it was only Moura, but he looked really good against Moura, getting into space every time he got it, looking forward. If the pass was on, hitting the pass. What would you do against Newcastle? I know it's a long way off, and Lo Celso might not even be allowed to play. We'll come to the South American boys a bit later on. But if everyone was fit and the game was this weekend, who would you play at number 10?
I won't play Ndombele. I'd rather take a risk on. I mean, if you get Lo Celso, I'd rather give Lo Celso a chance. You see, I mean, like I was saying, I was doing the watch along on the match against Aston Villa. I didn't see anything fantastic from us, right? And Ndombele kept losing the ball. He just only had just about one moment of magic in the penalty box, and that's it. So maybe give someone else a chance. But like you said, hypothetically, right, if we have all our players, then he shouldn't be playing. But the way I see it, with all the international breaks and going on and all that, I think there's a balance of the squad that's left behind that Nuno's been working on. Maybe he can do something with them. But even Bryan Hill is on Nation League's duty, right? So, I'm just saying. I'm just hoping, that day I was saying about Murphy's Law, right? I don't hope we don't get part 2 of it. That's all, right? We just hope that all our players come back safely. And like yesterday, Son saved Korea again, right? Last minute goal, the 90th minute, right? Against, I think they're playing Iran or Iraq, I'm not mistaken. Right?
I can't remember.
So, I can't remember. So, and then Son has to, the traveling. By the time you get back, you have to readjust your timing, the jet lag and all that. Okay. What I said, just keeping fingers crossed, right?
Yeah.
Nothing bad happens. Yeah. But for the number 10 position, I tell the truth, I would rather give a chance to Lo Celso if he's available. If not, maybe try something different. Even don't play Dele, try somebody else. Yeah, try somebody else.
But Stephen said we've been on the decline since Posh left, shows how great a job he was doing with the squad and owners we had. And Wayne has pretty much agreed with you pretty much wholeheartedly. Not Ali, needs to move on. Give Gil another go at number 10. We've got 11 people watching. Thanks so much for watching, but only 5 likes. So hopefully you can sort out your button issue because that's can only be the issue. The issue why it's not 11 likes.
It's actually 8 likes. But it's actually 8 likes. But,
right, okay. Yeah. 3 people have buttons.
But still, everybody get those likes in. 11 people, get up to 11. Doesn't make sense, does it?
No, all helps the channel to grow and appreciate it all. Stephen's got to go. Respect you guys. Sub to you all.
Take it easy, Stephen, man.
Take care of your health, Stephen. Take care of your health.
Yeah, look after yourself, brother. Look after yourself, brother.
And absolutely, definitely DM him. He's given his Twitter at sfeatley. Collab together for streamers would be great.
We talk about loyalty.
I for one would love that, and I'm sure all 3 of you guys would too.
Yep.
So I'm just going to read something to confirm what I said, and this is off Tottenham Hotspur's official site. Ahead of 2021 London games at Ahead of the 2021 London Games at Tottenham Hotspur Stadium, NFL will be delivering a series of exciting activations opened to the public at the Spurs shop at the Tottenham Experience. The shop will be closed from Monday the 4th of October and reopened today, Friday the 8th of October, with a wide range of NFL merchandise available in the store. So they've closed the shop for 4 days. So
Renovations.
He's trying to crack America, isn't he?
Yeah.
Yep. So don't forget this, guys. On Saturday, the 9th of October, if you can get to the club shop from 12 o'clock to 1 o'clock, there will be Atlanta Falcons cheerleader experience.
Whoa.
And then from 2 o'clock to 3 o'clock, former Atlanta Falcons running back will be making an appearance. And then Saturday the 9th, Tuesday the 12th, 13th, 15th. Oh, this is going to be happening. The Vince Lombardi Trophy experience. On Saturday the 16th, the Jacksonville Jaguars cheerleaders will make an appearance. Get down to the club shop for such wonderful NFL experiences.
Yeah, I mean, Adams, we're just NFL FC at this stage, unfortunately.
That's Levy's dream.
Probably not far off the mark, is it?
I'm going to pass the shop today when we go for this Ginola thing because it's in Tottenham.
Okay.
And I'm going to have a look in the windows. And I do mean look, not brick.
Take photos.
Not look. I mean, not brick, look. And yeah. It's just going to be petrol on the fire. Petrol on the fire.
Yeah. This, do you know the Jaguars? The Jaguars versus the Falcons are, I'd say, it's almost like if you're going to do it in Premier League terms, you'd say it's like Southampton versus Norwich. So NFL are not really risking much. They're not really risking much at all by doing this, although they do only have 16 games in the season before, unless the teams reach playoffs. So I suppose it's a kind of risk if you're only playing 16 games, but they've really not put the best teams there. It's safe to say. So it's a non-risk for them. Taking over America. Hopefully it turns out like, I don't know who's fouled. Robbie Williams? He fouled, didn't he? Hopefully it turns out like that. I'll take that, whatever.
Robbie Williams.
Yeah, he completely fouled, didn't he? He never what he couldn't sing anyway. So.
Not anymore. He's big over there.
Is he? It's because his wife, isn't it? Because his wife. Yeah, completely off subject there. I just want to say on the Ndombele subject, him being in our team, him starting in our team depresses me more than these Saudi Arabian owners taking over. Because I can't stand the boy. I just can't stand the boy. I really can't. He's everything wrong with a footballer.
Do you think he'll play though? Because do you think Lo Celso will be one of the South American players that potentially won't be playing, and then
he'll play?
You reckon Lo Celso will be back? Sanchez, Romero, Royal, they'll all be back for the
If they're back, he still plays. If they're back, he still plays.
But there's question marks though, isn't there? About because certainly the Argentinian players, because the coach has said they're playing 3 games, so they're not going back early. So that's would that be Reguilon, or is he not in the squad? It's certainly Romero and Lo Celso.
Yeah, Reguilon's Spanish, so he'll never be in the Argentinian squad.
Brian, a proper fan would have known that.
See, that's the kind of question you should put in a quiz.
What nationality
these
players are? What nationality do Chris think these players are?
Also, Brian, you say you're mad about Martin Yo. That I was mad about that too. He was Jack Santini's assistant. Come on, you should know Jack Santini's face. Come on.
Well, no, I was too busy looking at the wonder that is Martin Yo. So why don't you?
Come on,
I'm in my nephew.
I'm pulling at straws. Tommy,
man. We've got enough to argue and hate about, not hate on each other. That's what they want. That's what they want us to turn on each other.
It's good banter.
I think Ndombele is going to start. Whatever happened, Lo Celso's fit, Dele Alli's fit. Nuno's in the Jose Mourinho phase now. Towards the end of his tenure, because he only got sacked in the international break. So whatever wins games, he'll just stick with. So he'll stick with 4-1-2-3-1, I'm sure. How effective it will be against bigger teams, who knows? Only time will tell. But has Tommy got any NFL questions for Brian? Not really, not particularly. Do you watch a fair bit, Brian? Do you watch a fair bit of NFL?
Do you know what it is? Just to go to, I loved the NFL when it first came here on Channel 4 when I was younger, but I lost But when I come back, my wife loves her NFL, and it's so big over there. I mean, I can't begin to tell you how huge. I mean, the Super Bowl, everyone knows how big it is, but it is huge. So when I was actually over there, I said, right, do you know what? I need to know what football team to support because I didn't have a team. I think I've told this story to a couple of people, and it got to the point where, let's just say, as a member of my family who I absolutely fucking despise and never want to see again, but anyway, this person left the country for reasons I won't go into, and married a whore in Carolina just so he could get a green card. And when I moved over, Carolina were in the playoffs. And I said, you know what? Whoever the hell knocks Carolina out is my Carolina in all the games out there are like my Arsenal. I never ever want to see Carolina do anything good. So I'm now a New Orleans Saints fan because they did they kicked the shit out of Carolina. But over the years I've really got into it. I don't know, don't get me wrong, I don't know all the rules or the players' names or whatever, but I do love sitting down on a Sunday just watching a few games with my wife. And the only thing I hate about it is the goddamn adverts every bloody second.
Bloody 5
crazy,
minutes. Every time it stops, right? There's an advert.
Well, Joe, what they do as well is there's a thing at the end of the half, at the end of the first half, obviously it's in 4 quarters, but when it comes to the end of the half, there's something called the 2-minute warning.
Yeah.
And that has just been designed to get another ad break in for the money they make in advertising is, especially the Super Bowl, the rates they charge per advert during the Super Bowl will blow your mind. It's millions for like 10 seconds. We're not talking small millions. We're talking big, fat millions.
Yeah,
bigger than most of Levy's transfers. Millions for 30 seconds. And I really do enjoy the NFL. I enjoy it. But if you gave me NFL, if you asked me like whose nickname is the Texans, then I'll get it. But if you say, oh, who's got the most running yards over the next? Yeah, forget it.
I am a supporter of 49ers, Brian.
I see. They were my team when I first started because of Jerry Rice. Yeah. Jerry Rice is the greatest player to ever
for
play.
me, it was Montana. But now 49ers are nowhere anymore. So
no, they're getting better, mate. They're getting better. But I must say,
it's the Vikings for me. It's the Vikings for me.
My
2 years ago, they reached the Super Bowl and they broke my heart.
Oh, mate, that was one of the greatest Super Bowls of all time. But yeah, I used to love San Francisco, but then I realised they wear red, so I can't support a team that sports red. So that's why
the big Saints, right? They wear gold. Yeah.
Okay, one second. We've just done a complete Levy and started speaking NFL.
We're promoting NFL for Levy.
I tell you what, going off subject, I want to know more about this family member, Brian. I want to know more about this.
We'll do it behind the scenes.
I'm sure we can dissect that on Tottenham on Tour.
Tommy, I'll tell you backstage. There's no problem about it.
We're not live. Come on.
What Brian can do for you, Tommy, is on Tottenham on Tour. He can do a quiz for you on the family member. You can join in.
As long as it's even, I don't mind. It's the same for everyone, isn't it?
I'm not a massive fan of the NFL. I couldn't get into it when I was over there. I like NHL, and my friend's a big NHL fan, so I asked him, who should I support? Who's most like Tottenham? He said San Jose Sharks. I said, okay, I'll support them. Next season got the Stanley Cup. Next season got the Stanley Cup final, lost. So I picked the right team. I picked 2 losers to support.
Can't see the puck.
Somehow or other, I never understand NHL is because there's so much violence in it, right?
There's not now. Yeah.
There's so much violence in it.
Or the puck issue, you end up learning where it is by how the players are reacting, and then you can see it.
I just can't see it.
Obviously, you have to
see it on TV.
Obviously, you have to watch a little bit of it to.
The thing with hockey, especially in Toronto, hockey in Canada is
huge, isn't it? It is huge in Canada.
And because Canada and America, like you said, apart from like the New York Jets and the New York Giants, a lot of these places are only like one
New
team.
York Jets.
One team. That's my wife's team.
Sorry to say.
Yeah, she supports them because her wanker of a father supports the Giants. So she said, "Who do you support?"
Jets.
But Toronto,
Brian's family tree. We need to see this, man.
The reason I support the New Orleans Saints is because I'm an arsehole on my side of the family.
I know.
The reason that my wife supports is my wife's side of the family. Now, my wife's side of the family, they're so dysfunctional, they make the fucking Osborns look like the Waltons. That's all I'll say on that side. That's all I can say. But yeah,
all families are like that.
With the Toronto Maple Leafs haven't won the Stanley Cup since 1967. They are the most supported hockey team in the world.
Yeah.
They are one of the richest in the world. And they get to the playoff. They start off blinding, like before they get to the playoffs, like tearing it up. Then they go for a mid-season lull. Then they get there. Then they get to the playoffs, and they always play the Boston Bruins, and they go out the first. Mate, Toronto Maple Leafs are the Tottenham of hockey.
They sound like the Belgian national team. Always start off really well, and then fall apart. But yeah, I mean, because of NHL, I've got to go to Madison Square Garden, so I love Madison Square Garden. But yes, slightly off topic, like you said, Brian.
I'm trying to think, how did we get to this? I was just trying to think, how did we get into talking about NHL? But obviously, it's an NFL game coming this Sunday. NFL game coming up.
NHL was Chris. Yeah, NFL was all me.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, last question here with the Newcastle. Will we attack Newcastle, Eugene? We're obviously away. They're going to be buoyed by the news of the takeover. Their fans, certainly. The players will know about that. But like I said, I would love to, and it would be easy for me if I was a professional footballer and playing there to have the motivation to go and do them, because then we ruin their big day. Their big day that they've been looking forward to now for 10 days or however long it is, we can go and ruin it. But will we attack Newcastle like we did with Villa, or will it be another Dross, Watford and Wolves game?
It's Newcastle, Chris. We can go there and attack them and have 20 shots at goal and still can't score.
At least we'd be trying, though, rather than having two shots.
We will attack and we still can't score. But I don't know. Come to this stage, right? We still don't know who's going to take over the game. Will it still be Bruce, or will they bring in an interim, or will they straight away get Conte in? Right. Then after that, the manager who is still there, right, will most probably be Brucey. If he's still taking over the match, he might not have the heart to do it. Or maybe he might have a point to prove to the owners that he deserves to be there still to, bring the team to at least January transfer window or maybe the next season. But, when money comes in that sorts of amount, I think he'll be gone by tomorrow, right? Yeah. And, of course, when you have a new manager come in, then it comes to say that whether the Newcastle players will understand what the new manager wants, right? And then, of course, while we're worrying about what Newcastle is doing, right? To tell the truth, I'm more worried what we are doing, right? Because we have our players going over, all the international break overseas and all that. By the time we come back, whether jet lag kicks in. And then, of course, we do have quite a number of them still stayed behind because we weren't called up for the national teams. Maybe Nuno might have to use them first. You see that? Then will we be able to attack them? I hope we do. Right? Like I was saying during the Aston Villa match, we weren't turning over fast enough. And if we don't do that at Newcastle, my biggest fear is maybe Saint Maxima will turn us over. Right? That's all.
Yeah.
Right.
I mean, Tommy, I know you're a huge Saint Maximin fan. I mean, it's probably him going to stay there now. He's their best player by a mile. Then if he's surrounded by world-class players, maybe next summer or possibly in January, he's only going to get better. But how do you think the game will go when we go there in 2 weeks? Obviously, there's a lot to go through there. It's probably not the best idea to do a preview 10 days before the game, but I can't do it next Friday. But
well, it's the perfect time to talk anything Newcastle, isn't it? Right now, absolutely perfect.
But what do you think about 10 days' time, 9 days' time, whenever the game is?
Well, yeah, St. Maximin's going to play a huge role. I mean, I think we were 2-0 up last season. They chucked Willock and St. Maximin on, and everything changed. And they came back and drew 2-2 in the end, didn't they? I think that's what happened. They came back and drew 2-2. So, and Joe Linton scored. Joe Linton, who cannot score against any football club in Europe or on Earth, you could say, scored against us.
I mean, Brian's so surprised about Joe Linton. He's fallen off his chair, isn't he?
He's probably scouting him. I'll guarantee Don Paratici will probably have a notepad and be scouting the likes of Gale, Joe Linton, Joe Shelby. As soon as Newcastle start getting the big boys in, they're the sort of players that we're going to be looking at, no doubt. So it'll probably be a scout mission for Don Paratici as well.
We got a question from Jay Ashraf to Brian, but I'll ask you all. Do you think Newcastle will be big for Kane next summer? Personally, I don't see it because he wants to win trophies and they're not ready to win a trophy in a season. It's going to be about 5. But yeah, and we've also got Anthony Herbert. Hi, Anthony. Give Nuno time. He will improve. I hope that's the case. But yeah, I mean, Eugene, Kane being bid by Newcastle next summer. Do you see it?
Oh, if the money is big enough, Levy will sell him to whoever he wants. Right?
But he's always said, hasn't he, Kane? It's not about the money; it's about winning trophies. So that would suggest that he would move there.
It's not in Kane's hands. If it comes it's not in Kane's hands, you know. So
but he'd have to accept that. Yeah. He'd have to accept that contract, and he might refuse, and then Levy's forced to have him for another 2 years because that's how his contract is. But Tommy, do you think they'll bid?
Newcastle next season, he'll have 2 years left on his contract. They've only got Callum Wilson up top, haven't they? And Joe Linton. So they're going to go in for a strike. I reckon they'll get a striker. I reckon they'll get a striker in Jan. As Brian said, I think they'll get a marquee signing, and it will be in Jan. And usually when you get a marquee signing, it will be a striker more often than not, won't it? Yeah. So I don't think so.
No. Brian, what do you think, and would you see a head for the game next weekend?
Okay, so let's deal with the game first of all, then I'll come on to the Kane and Newcastle. So first of all, I'm telling you now, St James's Park is going to, like I said at the beginning, St James's Park is going to be rocking like you have never seen it before. I don't think it gives a damn what we do when we go there. It's about containing them for the first 20 minutes and then seeing where we are then, because honestly, when those fans are at St James's Park and they are in a good place, that 12th man is going to be such a key factor, and the whole hullabaloo. We could be willing to go out all guns blazing, but every single player in Newcastle now knows shit. My place in the club is now completely on the line. This isn't scrapping for relegation. This is, we're about to go to the big time. I want to be a part of it. So they're going to have an extra bee in their bonnet. So I think it's just contain them for 20 minutes and then go from there. That's what it really has come down to now with the Kane thing. Do I think Newcastle put in a bid for him? Hell yeah, I do. They've got 302 billion reasons to do it. And people are saying, oh yeah, he wants to go there to win trophies. But yes, he does. But the reason he wants to leave Spurs is because we haven't shown that we match his ambition. Newcastle will say, okay, you may be the first part of the jigsaw or whatever, but this and this and this and this and this is coming in. And then all of a sudden, Newcastle, I'm not saying that this is going to happen, but if there's anyone that can match Newcastle's ambition right now, we said PSG can match his ambition. We said Man City can match his. Now, these teams win trophies, but these guys can literally say, I will buy the league for you and actually follow through with it. But I personally think Kane is off to United. I think Haaland will be at Manchester City. Van der Beek, I said it on your stream yesterday, Tommy, didn't I? I think Van der Beek will come on loan to Tottenham in January as kind of a make weight, like have him with not an obligation but an option, and then we'll see what he does because we need creativity. And then they'll say, okay, like we did with Højbjerg and Walker Peters, like yes, we pay 15 and they pay 12, but it worked out 3 million if you do the difference. But I could see something like that happening. I think it's Man U that Kane wants. I really do think it's Man U. Forget Man City. Man City were going to genuinely going for him last season, but I think the whole history of United and everything, and with Cavani going, and the chance to be with Ronaldo, if he stays a second year, which we know he will, I can only see him going to United. I do see him leaving this summer. I really do. But that depends what kind of a mess we're in. But will Newcastle try and make every single player that now becomes available, it doesn't matter how much the asking fee is, Newcastle will have a sniff. Whether the player is interested or not, Newcastle will be mentioned within every single transfer that goes on from here on in for big stars because they have got the money. And we used to say, right, listen, Man City or PSG are interested or Chelsea, forget it because they'll just blow you out the water with wages. Or just think what Newcastle could do now. They could blow the 3 biggest ones, like literally, and make it feel like pocket change. So we shall have to see.
Barry Ambrose has said he reckons they'll make a mad bid for Son. I mean, that would be...
Mate, that's how worried it is.
Devastating.
If I was to say to you, at the beginning of this season, or even last year, that technically Newcastle could come and strip the bones out of any single club, then you'd be like, what the hell are you talking about? But this is a genuine issue now. It's a genuine threat.
They will have to progress slowly, though. They can't get 3 or 4 in, because this is what Man City done, and they've done it perfectly. It was genius. It's what they had to do, because they're going to anger the rest of the playing squad. So what they do is they get a team up to Europe level, Villa, Everton, and they say, oh, we'll keep you here, and then eventually we'll go to win the league. They'll move them on, the Bellamy's and the likes, and then they'll get the big dogs in. And by that time, they'll have the financial fair play in place to do it. So it will be slow progression. It will be. They might have one marquee signing, one marquee signing window.
Fair play in their pockets.
Financial fair play means nothing. Look what happened with Man City. They're 10 times richer.
But it's not just that. It's not just the fair play. It's the rest of the playing staff. They will have so much less wages. They'll be like, no, we're not gonna do this. Why? They're just gonna move us on. They're just gonna play us, and it will affect morale. It will affect morale. When one player's got 60 grand and the other player's got 400 grand.
I think the indicator will be,
going to make a big difference.
Who is the manager is coming in? So that's the indicator.
I think they're going to do it the Man City way. I think they're going to do it the Man City way.
I'll tell you a story now. So after we all met for Spurs Chelsea, me, Stelios, Danny Kyriakou, Brad Matthews, and did I say Danny Kyriakou? Oh, there's 5 of us. So there's 5. Alex, yes. I thought I mentioned Alex. So Alex was the other one. And we were talking with Stel, and he was at an evening with Ray Wilkins. Like I'm going to Ginola, and they were asking questions and stuff. And I said, so tell us some of your Abramovich stories. And he said, well, when Abramovich came in, the first thing he said is, and this is Ray Wilkins saying it to Stel, was like, what's this youth academy? And he was like, well, it's where we bring players through and we bring them up, and hopefully they'll get into the Chelsea first team. And Abramovich said, why do we need this? Close this down. Here's my checkbook. Go buy whatever you need. Close this down. It's money we don't need to spend. And they're like, well, no, we need to do this because it's English roots football. And they're like, close it down, the checkbook, go buy it. And literally, he had to be told that if they closed that down, there'd have been such a backlash from English football and the FA and whatever. It would have been mad. Now, you've got to look at these people, and they're even more than 10 times richer than Abramovich. So when it comes to, you've got to remember something. Money, we say money doesn't matter to Man City, PSG, the 2 big ones right now, and Chelsea. These people dwarf. They literally find at the back of the sofa what these 2 have put together. So money and little fines here and there means absolutely. And let's remember.
No, of course not. Of course not. It doesn't mean anything. I'm not saying that they can't afford it. That's
my
point is that they can't afford it.
If you look at what these people stand for, as Chris said at the beginning, and they don't stand for equality for women, murdering people allegedly, homosexuality, bad human rights. You think they're going to worry about what FIFA may say to them? No. They will not give a flying you know what.
They'll buy FIFA.
Yeah.
Well,
I think that's the way I think it will go. I think it will be. They'll get there. I don't think they'll be fighting for Champions League next season. I don't think they'll be fighting for Champions League.
It will be progression, right? But not 5 years. I see it happen in 2 years, or even or less.
Probably.
Yeah, 2 years or less, right? Because it's just 2 or 3 transfer windows. They'll get all the players they want. Like I said, the most important thing is that who is going to come in as the manager. If they bring a Conte in, right, I tell you, Conte will revamp that whole team. By January, you'll see half the team sitting on the side.
Conte will not come in now. What
do you think of Adam's?
Because Conte is the one manager that has principles and morals. He wouldn't come into Spurs because they weren't going to invest. They had no
principles and morals you're talking about? If you give Conte the money, right, he'll be there.
We wouldn't spend. That's why he didn't come, because we wouldn't give him the assurance.
We're not going to spend. That's why he didn't come to us.
But this is the thing. Conte will not get the money straight away. He will not get the money straight away. And Conte can get any job on Planet Football right now. He can get any job. He won the Scudetto with Inter Milan. He won the Scudetto with Inter Milan last season. He can get any job.
If the Saudis promise Conte, right, a £500 million kitty, right? Between January now and next year summer, do you think Conte won't come?
As I
Think
said,
about
it's
it.
going to be slow progression. So Conte will come, but not yet.
Yeah.
What do you think of
I think he'll
Zidane?
come, but not
That's
yet.
who Adam suggested.
I don't like Zidane.
No, I don't think he's very good either. But
Yeah.
he's obviously a
Don't you think
manager that's available.
He's a Real Madrid manager, that's all. He hasn't proven himself anywhere else.
No, but yeah.
But what do we think about the Newcastle women's team now? That's got.
Oh yeah, that's a different story. Yeah.
That's gonna not go down well, is it? I mean, Jesus, that's gonna be awful. And women's football's so big now; it's huge. It's getting really big now because they're televising it on Sky Sports every Friday night. A couple of games on Saturday as well on Sky Sports, so it's getting huge. And the Newcastle ladies team, that's what's happening there. What's going to happen there? It's madness.
They'll buy everybody there too.
Yeah.
They can buy everyone, but will they want to pay for them?
It doesn't matter if you pay enough. If you pay enough wages, everybody will play for you.
And this is the problem. It's like this is terminal now, isn't it? Football is terminal. It's like we're all waiting for the
inevitable. It's been terminal for a little while.
Yeah, and we sort of we invest in our emotions. We sort of invest in our emotions, but it's not worth investing in anymore because the ESL is coming, isn't it? The ESL is coming.
Oh yeah, then he comes into the ESL. Yeah.
That's what Barry said there. 2 windows. Newcastle being a different league from us. He's obviously meaning at the top of the league, but. I mean, I agree with you, Tommy. That ESL will happen at some point. It's just been shelved at this moment in time. So it will happen at some point, and Newcastle now are front runners for that.
Now we'll call the Big Seven.
So from the beginning, if we go to that Super League, I will stop supporting Spurs the second we kick off our first game in the Super League. That's it, done. See you later. No YouTube, whatever, or watching my club. But do you know what? It isn't even the Abramoviches, the Man Cities, or the PSGs when they first came in that broke it. What was broken football? The transfer levels were just getting back to a normal kind of level playing field or realistic, and then the Neymar deal happened with Barca and PSG, and that's where it's like, right, okay, 200 million for transfers. Okay, here we go, and that's where it's gone again. It always comes down to an even kill, and then it explodes again because a billionaire will come in. And that's that.
Extravagant numbers coming in. Yeah,
I agree with you, Tommy. It will take time. It won't be overnight, but certainly a few years. But hopefully, it's the first game they've had with these new owners. Hopefully, there's a bit of nervousness with the players for Newcastle. Like Brian says, I'm fighting for my future here. It's not a relegation battle anymore. It's fighting for whether I'm going to win the league in a few years' time. Hopefully, we can get fired up. And put a dent in those ambitions early doors and carry on our win. And hopefully Nuno gets us in more of an attacking way. But unfortunately, we could talk about this for 7 hours. And there's so much to talk about. But we'll end it there because we've pretty much mentioned everything. And then there'll be more stuff coming out in the coming days. So everything we've talked about here with Newcastle is probably going to be out of date in 24 hours. Thanks to all you guys for watching and adding comments, and thanks so much for you 3 guys for coming on. Always a pleasure to have you on. Before you go, anyone who didn't listen or hasn't read the description yet, Eugene, Spurs Eurasian TV, that's your channel. Where can people find it?
Yep, Spurs Eurasian TV on YouTube. You can find me, right? Do 2 weekly shows. One called the Midweek Show, usually on Wednesday, 2:30 p.m. GMT. And of course, Sunday is the normal time, is 1:30 p.m. GMT. Thanks for having me on, Chris. And don't forget to smash a like or subscribe to Chris on Let's Talk Tottenham, Brian on Tottenham on Tour, and of course, don't forget about TTB.
Excellent. Yeah, and TTB, that's Tommy's channel. Tommy, where can people find that if they don't already know?
Another YouTube channel. I've just realised that I'm the only guy that hasn't got at the start of my name. So, so that's my Twitter handle as well. Tommy Talksball. Tommy Talksball is my Twitter handle. Kind words from Eugene. Kind words from Eugene there. Definitely go over to Spurs Eurasian TV because he's got something coming up Sunday. And of course, TOT, Tottenham on Tour. I think TOT sounds brilliant. I love TOT.
That's why we did it, because
Tot TV. I think there's something there. I think there's a goer there. Yeah. Tommy Talks Ball on Twitter and YouTube. Just give me a sub if you like, something similar to this. But not before you head over to Chris. Let's Talk Tottenham. And I tell you what, this Monday I'm looking forward to this quiz because I thought I'd done well. I thought I was a quiz mastermind by getting 15 questions up, having 8 previously. But Chris is going for the long haul. He's going for 50 questions. So make sure you've got to go over there, check that out Monday, and hit his notifications as well. Then you'll be notified when that goes live. And the same with all of us here. Hit the notification bells and subscribe. Cheers, everyone.
Excellent. And
Top TV's coming, man. I'm telling you now. Top TV is coming.
Tommy. When I came up with the name TOT, and you'll see it on our logo, Tottenham on Tour, we did it because when you're watching Spurs play football on Sky or any other broadcaster, it says TOT. So that's why we did it. So it's not TOT TV, but it could grow. But Tottenham on Tour was mainly come up with because it says TOT. So well clocked on.
Yeah. And I put Brian on the bottom with Tommy to make up and be friends again because there was a bit of a... Brian wasn't too happy with some of Tommy's questions.
We love each other, man. We love each other. The Brian and Tommy love that will never dampen. But I tell you what, the quiz show is going to get harder from here. I don't care what anybody says. The quiz shows they're not going to be made any easier. I can assure you. Yeah. But it was entertaining last night. It was entertaining. It was entertaining if anything.
Absolutely. Watch Tommy Talks Ball from yesterday. Superbly entertaining. But they're best friends again now after an hour, so I'm sure Tommy will be on Tottenham on Tour soon. So Tottenham on Tour, Brian, where can people find that?
So first of all, I just want to say it's been brilliant coming on the channel again. It's good that we finish on time because I've got arts and crafts very shortly.
You're good.
We're going to make a pasta and toilet roll pencil case. So Tottenham on Tour. We haven't done a lot recently. Brian Ireland, bless him, has not been well, but hopefully we were going to do 2 Brians tonight, but I'm at the evening with David Ginola. So if any of your subscribers are going there, come over and say hello. There's loads of us going there. There's the We Are Tottenham TV boys, Bob Spur, Danny Kiriakou, Danny Kiriakou. There's going to be a good group of us from We Are Tottenham TV as well. So come and say hello if you're coming. But yeah, you can find me on Tottenham on Tour. And as I said, whilst I'm here on all the other channels, like and subscribe to these guys because they put in a lot of work. And we plan to do quite a bit from the protest on Sunday, where it may not be live, but I'll be posting videos up or send them to Ireland to upload. And hopefully, if you do want to come and help fight to get the club back, we're going to be starting at 10:30 on Sunday morning. I won't be there back at 10:30. I'll be near 11:30, but I'll be there for the rest of the day. And we're going to be protesting even when the game's going on because there's going to be so many media outlets outside that when everyone's in, they're going to see us and say, what's that all about? And hopefully we can cause a commotion and get some more media attention than just the Daily Mail and go from there. But like I said, find me on Tottenham on Tour.
Excellent. All 3 Twitter handles, all 3 YouTube links will be on the description. That's on the YouTube description and also the description on Apple, Spotify, wherever you get your audio podcasts from. Thanks everybody for watching and for adding your comments and for the likes. Hit the more likes, hit the subscribes, hit the notification channels. This is a preview for a game in 10 days because I'm not around on Friday. I'm actually at London Zoo, so I'm swapping talking about the snake in the boardroom to talking about the snakes in the reptile house. So that's why that's there. We got the quiz on Monday. There's an actual prize in this quiz as well. No one who's taking part in the quiz actually knows what the prize is yet. I've kept that hidden. Check that out on Monday. That's 8 p.m. Brian, have you got something to say, or do you need the toilet? You're moving.
No. Sorry, I know I'm at school, but I know I can leave for the toilet by myself now. I just wait for you to say the last bit so I can have.
Oh, right, okay. Adam says, "See you later." Cheers for watching, Adam, and until next time. Come on, you Spurs.
Leave you out. 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 Leave you out.
Thank you so much for watching. For everybody who participated in the live chat and added comments, before you go, please make sure you hit that like and subscribe button. Anybody who couldn't watch the live video, you can still catch us on YouTube. Add any comments, suggestions or questions to the comments section on the video. Anybody who's listened to the audio-only podcast, thank you so much for listening. Anybody who wants the audio-only podcast, you get this wherever you get your podcast from. Alternatively, if you go to Twitter, @Talk Tottenham, you'll find all the information there. We'll be back soon. We're live Mondays, 8 p.m, Fridays, 12:30 UK time. Until then, come on, you Spurs!